So here we are again. It's Super Gauntlet time. This is a super awesome event, so I'm stoked to get this going again. I didn't get to play in it this year, which is normally the case. I got to play in it 1 year and had an absolute blast. Michael Arnold puts on an amazing show, and one of my favorite things that I've done in Premodern has been just being involved in the draft and the chat surrounding it. So it's kind of exciting for me to do the commentary on this draft.
So, Aarin, I don't know anything about the Premodern Super Gauntlet. God knows why anyone asked me to commentate this. This is actually, I do know one thing, right? So the one thing I know is last year you played in it, you drafted the archetype Psychotog. I'm putting Psychotog in air quotes, and you made a format-defining black-blue Stifle Knot deck.
I mean,
that happened to have some Psychotogs in it.
Hold on. Okay.
Actually rocked the real Premodern format. The deck that you made basically made the finals of LobsterCon this year.
I mean,
people it's like had a joke Psychotog deck.
I can't take credit for blue-black Stifle Knot. That had been done for sure. People before me had made, and honestly, my deck wasn't tuned because I had done it as a joke deck.
It just randomly just makes the finals of LobsterCon, like you do.
I mean, that was a much more tuned version, piloted very well. So, I mean, can't take that away from
I'm
it.
not taking any credit away from the pilot, the Duress crew. I guess one of the few people of the Duress crew actually playing the card Duress in such a deck. I'm just saying, you drafted Psychotog and made a Stifle Knot deck.
Yeah.
So
well, we had a lot of discussion around like how many Psychotogs makes a Psychotog deck and how many this, how many that.
Like,
just like screw it, I'm just gonna do this.
Can I draft Rifter, put the card Lightning Rift in a deck along with 59 black, blue, and Stifle Knot cards, and that's my
nailed
Rifter
it. That's
deck.
exactly how chat went.
Yep.
Everybody last year was definitely trying to like skirt the edges of the rules. And it got to a point where I just had to tease people with my deck selection. But
all right,
this time, so we have a number of new players. Absolute format all-stars: Rich Shea, Chris Tolar, Mike Arnold, Gabe Menendez, Mike Hoyp. I mean, this is a list of killers again. Some of these players are not as well known to me, but I've kind of checked out what they've been doing, and I'm excited to see what they wind up drafting. I know there's a lot of mono black players in this year.
A lot of mono black players is not a string of words that
like
you are looking to hear
three
about
or four of them, 3.5, 4. So I'm kind of excited to see what people come up with. If you were going to draft and you've got the list in front of you,
so let's like level set this for people who don't, like myself, a commentator of the Premodern Super Gauntlet.
Yeah.
What is this format? So there's 64 decks, 56 decks.
So the idea of a bracket tournament is pretty familiar to everybody. Think March Madness, right?
Okay, March Madness.
So we're gonna draft these decks in your typical fantasy football snake draft format. 1 through 8, 8 through 1, and back and forth. Everybody gets to pick one deck from this list. The last round is all going to be brews. So your off meta decks that are usually brews.
So for me, that would be Rifter, Stasis with Thawing Glaciers, but
no, Rifter and Stasis are both on the list, Mike.
Oh,
you can go ahead and pick those and put your own spin on them. Throw Stifle Knot into any of them. That's the. Actually, I think that this year they have the "Don't be a dicks" rule, where you can't just cram Stifle Knot into all your decks.
One of the decks is Merfolk, and I noticed Merfolk in the official notes has with or without Stifle Knot.
Yeah, and it did last year too, and that like, why would you not?
Because there's not enough playable merfolk in the format. I've never played against. I play a
Merfolk is
lot of
great.
pre-modern.
I like it either way.
I don't play as much as Rich Shea, but I play in multiple in-person meetups
Yeah.
a month. Sometimes Lanny ropes me into playing Magic Online with him. We test. And I've never sat down across a merfolk player. So I don't know what it looks like, brother.
Next time we're in person, I'll make sure to bring a merfolk deck. All right. So we have 8 players. We know their tendencies and we know the decks that they tend to play.
But would that matter? Right? Like there's a finite list of decks.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the first round, you expect to see most of the tier 1s go, right? But you also expect most people to grab their tier 1 weapon of choice.
So I don't know what the order is, but like how deep in the order are Rich Shea and Chris Tolar? If let's say Chris Tolar's first, I'm just saying, is he gonna grab Enchantress first pick? I mean,
It feels like you have to, but last year we had Andrew Walker, and Andrew Walker did not first round grab Enchantress, even though we all thought he was going to for sure.
Like if I'm Tolar, I'm picking let's say I'm picking 7th or something. I bet I could,
I bet it wheels, right?
Yeah,
exactly.
But if I'm first, I'm taking Enchantress over. Facetiously, there's an entry called Combo Stifle Knot.
Yeah,
I thought Combo Stifle Knot would be like one of the Hermit decks, for example, but that's not it.
No, combo Stifle Knot's your blue-white, blue-black, mono-blue, the ones that are all about jamming Stifle Knot and protecting it. That's their only game plan.
Just Stifle Knot, really.
Yeah, Stifle Knot. Stifle Knot as most play it. There are Tempo Stifle Knot decks, blue, red, blue, green.
Wait, so I could end up with
you
mono
could end up with
and blue red Stifle Knot
and Merfolk, which is mono blue Stifle Knot with some Merfolk thrown in.
Well, if anybody invites me to play in this next year, I know what my strategy would be.
So yeah,
I would need to invest in another 8 copies of Phyrexian Dragon.
So in this, you have to imagine that Replenish is gone in round 1. Rich Shea is not passing up Replenish. If it's there when he gets his pick at pick 7, he has to grab it, right? So Replenish.
There's no way Replenish is going 7 picks. I mean,
it might
happen.
So we've got 2 players who are notably Rock/Goblin players. Here they're going to fight over those.
Let's say the Rock is my favorite deck. I don't take the Rock first. It's going to go.
It's going to go in round. It will not survive past round 2 or 3. I guarantee.
Yeah, but I don't have to take it first. I could take a real deck, and the Rock will make it back to me.
I mean, I took Goblins last year because I knew that I had people behind me that Goblins just wasn't getting through, but red deck might wheel.
Did red deck wheel to you?
No, absolutely
can't imagine. Are you kidding? I mean, look, the first 3 picks are going to be in some order: Combo Stifle Knot, Replenish, red deck, and Terra.
Well, we've got the first pick, so why don't we put that up on the board and let's see what?
Okay, so
we've both.
So what? Combo Stifle Knot first. What a surprise!
Yeah, it's a winning strategy. Go ahead and do them. All right, so now you've got Michael Arnold.
Oh, he might take Elves.
Yeah, you could take Elves here. Elves could wheel. Elves could wheel.
It's not gonna go 15 picks. It would have to. It's not like if Mike is in position 7, he can give up Elves. But from position 2, his next shot is pick 15. There's no way it goes 15 picks. Elves is a top 10 deck.
All right. It is, but man, that's tough.
I think he takes Elves. I think this is a good case. Goblins. He's protecting his future elf deck.
Yeah, so he's got Goblins.
Wow, I would not take Goblins that high. I think Goblins goes in the first round, but
I think it does, and I think that you have people that would absolutely abuse you with it. Hoyp would have just crushed this thing with Goblins. So don't forget to hate draft your upcoming opponents.
Yeah, but I mean, just straight up, if you're trying to win the gauntlet, do you take Goblins over red deck? Let's say you want to play with Wooded Foothills and Basic Mountain.
Yeah, I'm gonna delete these off as they come up
No,
because
strike them instead. Striking them is better than
Okay,
deleting
okay.
them.
Well,
Uh,
this is hard to do with my arm over my shoulder. So no, we're just gonna
green,
have to deal with
red,
them.
Terra Oath.
Ooh, okay.
I would have expected that to go in the top 4 picks. Andrew Webb, green, red, Terra Oath.
I'm in.
Excellent deck. It's a medium to good against combo Stifle Knot, excellent against goblins.
Yep.
So Andrew Webb currently in the lead. And from pick 3, that's great.
I mean, combo Stifle Knot and Terra Oath, both great picks. Goblins has potential
So
game against both.
if
So.
I'm Gabe
That's all great.
Menendez, if I play like the Brian Selden sort of Dr. Surf and Surf Raska deck, that's combo Stifle Knot or
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's clearly the best pick to take first pick. Then.
That's solid. I mean, it's just one
every tournament.
Tournaments. Yeah.
Was there an available tournament? It won it.
It just won it. Ooh,
what?
This wild pick.
Oh
Did
my
not
God.
see that coming.
It's a little early to be drinking.
Okay.
It's
Well, hold on. I mean, it can beat a lot of the decks on this list.
But that's like a horrible fourth pick.
So
you could get Stasis 13th.
Hold on. Does Hoyp go rock here? Think through this. Or does he go red?
He takes Replenish in front of Rich Shea is what he does.
Ooh. Oh, it goes Rich. Rich goes Replenish here.
No, Jay. Oh, I'm sorry, no. Jay Lansdowne.
Oh, it goes up.
So clearly he takes land still, right? He has to take land still. Jay Lansdowne. Elves. How is Burn still on the table when Burn burns through multiple of the decks that have been taken already?
I mean, okay, but now Chris goes
he has
Enchantress.
To take Enchantress. Okay. I don't think Mike would take Enchantress, and Rich hates Enchantress. So I think
it's gonna wheel.
I think he takes
don't take it here, Chris.
I think he takes
don't
Replenish.
Take it.
I think he takes Replenish in front of Rich.
Oh my God, that'd be amazing. Oh, if he does that, he's my hero.
But
Come on.
Mike's not going to take Enchantress. Rich isn't going to take Enchantress. This is a great spot for Chris. Take Replenish.
Ooh.
Yeah, or is there
that'd be sweet. Okay.
Oh man, no discipline. Rich is going to end up with is there just a Tide Control deck?
Yeah.
Rich is going to end up with Tide Control and Replenish, and he just won the Super Gauntlet. He's going to end up with both of them. Rich Shea is literally
the game before the game.
Replenish went 7th. There's just no way he doesn't take.
Told
Replenish
you, man.
Here.
Yeah, for sure. Rich takes Replenish.
And Burn is still on the table.
Burn is still on the table at pick 8. See, this is why I was saying.
Oh my God, this is a soft draft, buddy. SAWFT. I mean, Hoyp has got to take like. I don't even know. He's taking the Rock.
Take Burn and the Rock. Just like you get back-to-back picks. Take Burn and the Rock.
Oh man, 8 is terrible. I wouldn't want to be pick 8.
It's fun. Having
Burn. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
And, I mean, that is a steal at pick 8, and it doesn't feel good.
Absolutely. Feels.
Terrageddon.
Okay.
Wow.
Solid.
Good deck though. Good deck.
Yeah. Better.
I would never want to play it myself, but it's a good deck.
See, I had no faith in Hoyp. I thought he was going Rock.
Rich is taking Tide Control. He has to take Tide Control.
No, it'll be there so late.
Why? It's like the third best deck in the format.
I mean, what else could he take? We're looking at this.
Take Tide Control because it's good.
I mean, he could take blue-white control. He could take mono-blue control. He could take.
Yeah, but Rich hates like land still. He doesn't like the deck.
No, but you could do Tide in that too. That's how he started doing
mono-blue control.
Okay, so there he goes. Just like you said.
Control?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's in. All right.
I hate Tolar's Enchantress.
Okay.
He could have gotten a better deck.
Okay, so I mean,
you got to go Angry Hermit here. Angry Hermit's the best deck on the table for sure.
I mean,
or he'll take a Feb variant, which is a good.
There's a few different Feb variants, aren't there?
Yeah, but I think Angry Hermit's just the best deck on the table. It has Stifle Knot in it.
I mean, Feb's really, really good.
I believe in
Welder survival. Wow. Pulling pulling the 3rd round pick early.
All right. Jay Lansdow's got to take his namesake of Lansdow. I think, like, what's a legitimate good deck here? Tempo
Stifle-Not.
Oh, that's excellent.
So blue-green, blue-red.
Blue-red.
Yeah.
Great deck. It's like the 4th best
pretty sweet.
Stifle-Not deck.
Honestly, Jay's list, that looks pretty sweet for being middle of the pack.
I mean, first of all, he has 2 playable decks.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
So, I mean, Hoyp has 2 playable decks. I think Rich is ahead. I mean, Rich has the decks he
Rich
wanted.
has the 2 decks he wants to play.
If Rich were picking first, those would be the decks that he had.
There's still some solid, like, high tier stuff here.
Angry Hermit.
Yeah. Angry Hermit. Hell, man, Fluctuator could make a run. Never count out Fluctuator.
Yeah, but you can get Fluctuator super late.
Exactly.
Great decks could go super
I thought I was
late.
going to get it later last year.
And there's Poonza. Tinker Stacks.
Okay. Carl's like off the beaten path, and I kind of like it. He could just really surprise some folks.
But he has no playable decks.
I mean, Stasis is great. I really, really like Stasis. That's the 2nd deck I ever built in Premodern.
Yeah, and then you evolved.
I've played Stasis a lot. I love Stasis.
I like Stasis in a way that, like, if I didn't want to have any friends, like...
You have friends?
Well, I played too much Stasis.
All right. Andrew's pick.
Growatug.
Oh, sweet.
Sure.
I like this kind of mid-rangey answers to your stuff list that he's gonna grind out some games.
I think Andrew's actually in an interesting spot. I think Growatog is a playable deck. Green Red Terror is one of the best decks. I mean, he's kind of got like the Lanny spot there.
Yeah, Lanny's gonna be proud of this one. Mike Arnold, give me some aggro, Mike.
Maybe it's like Contamination Lock, maybe.
He's got so many brews. Like he plays everything, man. He's all over the board. I just want aggro picks out of him. We're aggro guys.
Full and good deck, sure.
Solid, yeah. Like I said, he could have gone anywhere. I just like it when he plays aggro.
And Hermit Feb is a separate deck from Feb, right?
Yeah.
So you could conceivably end up with Angry Hermit, Hermit Feb, and
is
Feb.
Hermit Feb? I don't think Hermit Feb is in this year. I'm wrong.
So if
either.
Oh, okay. So if you want to play Hermit Feb, you have to take Full English Breakfast.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's no separate Hermit Feb entry, but there is an Angry Hermit entry.
So where do you go from here if you're Gabe? I mean,
Angry Hermit has been the best deck on the table for a while, and no one's taken it. Dead Guy. Some people like Dead Guy.
Dead Guy is really sweet right now.
White Weenie.
Wow.
So White Weenie is a scalpel. It is not a hammer. I think that a hammer does better in a March Madness.
It's just not unfair enough.
Yeah, it's a scalpel. If you're only going to play against combo Stifle-Not and Sly.
But he gets 2 picks right here. So he gets to go back to back.
Maybe he could pick Hermit Feb.
It's a great deck. I mean, you have Psychotog sitting here still. Also pretty good Reanimator still hanging out.
I mean, I would take Psychotog before Reanimator because then I just get to play the
you don't get to play the 12/12s.
You don't get to?
No, it's the rule this year.
Psychotog.
There it is.
Gabe didn't hear the rule because he took Psychotog.
No, I think it's great. It's really good.
So wait, is Tinkerfling still on the table somewhere? Devourer? Yeah. That's a deck.
Yeah, it's very good. There's so much. I mean,
I think Andrew should take
Tinkerfling
just to protect himself because to protect his Green Red Terror.
Honestly, the Rock is still there too.
Yeah, well, it should be. The Rock.
I'm surprised.
Star Spangled Slaughter.
That's one of his faves. I mean, that does not surprise me.
Yeah. We tested that matchup so much last year, Lanny and I, for PSS. Because he had to play against Mike Arnold and his Star Spangled Slaughter deck.
Yep.
I have a soft spot for that deck because you can build it in a bunch of different ways.
There's so many good cards crammed in it.
You could have like Fire Ice and your opponent's Elves. It's great.
Yep.
Happens.
That's another one of the
Aarin.
Finally, Aarin.
Yeah, but
Aarin's been hanging out.
Yeah, but there's still Angry Hermit on the table.
I know.
Can you imagine Angry Hermit gets to Rich?
Oh my god! If Rich goes Angry Hermit after all of this, that would be so.
I mean, Carl is just going to take Merfolk here, right? His theme is blue decks with a theme permanent type. So he's got the enchantment theme permanent. He's got the artifact theme permanent. I guess he's going to go for the fish theme permanent next.
I'll see. I can't predict. He's a total wild card with these picks. I love it. I can't predict.
What is lands? I see a deck. Dance.
Okay, Academy. Dance Academy. So the Rector, the crazy, Mind Over Matter, and the draw 3 cards guy.
Arcanus the Omnipotent. Yeah. So he's got another blue deck with the theme of triple blue and the casting cost. So he's got. He's just got.
Well, he's never going to cast it. That's not how you do it.
You know, he's got Mind Over Matter and Arcanus. He's got so many.
He's going to. I mean, Carl, I love how off the beaten path this is. It's like, I'm going to have the decks you can't plan against.
Yeah, but what if your opponent's just playing mono blue controller replenish?
So here's the thing. Hoyp doesn't pass up the rock here. No way. No effing way. Oh, we are. Oh, I keep thinking it's top down. Shoot.
He's got to take land still because of his name. Trade Wind Survival. So he's got like 3 different sort of creaturey utility decks. So he's got Land of War Elves, Grim Lavamancer, and Trade Wind. Trade Wind Survival is an excellent deck.
Yeah, it can beat a lot of stuff. Like, it can pull out wins against things that it should.
You know, somebody once asked me, what I thought about it. And I mean, basic Island Land of War Elves is kind of a hard stop for me. Land of War Elves Counterspell is kind of a hard stop for me, but it is still an excellent deck.
Man. All right. Now, where does Chris go? I only know Chris as
the Enchantress guy. He took Enchantress already. He's got to take Angry Hermit. I mean, how is Angry Hermit still on the table?
Can you imagine? No,
excellent deck. Excellent deck. Great. Excellent deck.
But now Rich, like, come on.
Rich has got to take Angry. He's got to take.
He's got to. It's too good for it to fall this far.
23 picks.
It's got to be, right?
Blue white.
Okay, so there's the other deck that we talked about him potentially taking. He's just all the way.
Yeah, but I don't see Hoyp. I don't see Hoyp taking Angry Hermit, so we're just getting it anyway.
Well, Hoyp's got 2 picks.
Yeah, he's gonna take the Rock with one of them. Maybe the Rock and Dead Guy.
I mean, I kind of like that though. You get the 2 super interactive mid-range decks.
Rifter
back to back.
I think the Rock and Dead Guy.
That'd be sweet.
Yeah, there it is. I told you didn't have to take it in the first round.
I'm surprised it got this far, honestly. I thought it would go in the first 2
Angry
rounds.
Hermit is just the Rock. Like, if you wanted to play like Duress and Land War Waste, it's there.
Okay, so Feb is gone. He can't take Feb.
Angry Hermit. Come on, I believe in you, Hoyp. Take a good deck. Dead Guy, I think you could take here.
Yeah, Dead Guy, Jund. You could take those.
What is Jund?
All right, so Jund is black, red, green.
That's just the Rock?
It's just like a mid-range red, black, green deck.
How is it different from
Angry Hermit?
Yeah, Hoyp. Yeah, Hoyp.
It's so late. Look at his list is insane. Sly, Terragon, the Rock, Angry Hermit.
He has 3.5 playable decks.
Yeah.
And I'm an above average Rock player, and not in terms of above average. There's no actual above average Rock players. I just play the Rock an above average percentage of the time. And I'm saying this. He has 3.5.
All right. Now, which blue white deck is Rich going?
I think, like, at this point, he could take Dead Guy. I think he could take Contamination combo.
Contamination combo. He just said on a podcast, I forget whose podcast, that Contamination is not the kind of deck that he would play.
It's 26 picks in.
Madness.
Oh,
he's got blue in Madness.
That's a playable deck, I suppose. I hate that deck, by the way. The City of Brass Wasteland. The fact that you need like basic island followed by mono basic forests.
I just can't ever count it out. It crushed it. I mean, it's always there. It's always
one guy ever plays it, and Fran backing him lost his bet to me for a LobsterCon against a player who had never played the format.
The LobsterCon that we top aided. My only loss in the Swiss was to Madness, and I had tested that matchup all night the night before because John Cheeto was playing
Mud.
Ooh.
You know about Mud
Okay,
is
so we've got
how is that different from Tinker Stacks?
Oh, Tinker Stacks is a very different deck. Tinker Stacks is kind of Mud is just full mono brown. Like, yeah.
Mud is a deck I'm always afraid of at meetups. People play it sometimes, and
Yeah.
I feel like it.
But you play decks that beat it. Like, there's so many decks that just have a favorable matchup there. I love Mud. It was one of the first decks that I tested against in Premodern, actually, when I started playing Premodern. Friend whipped that up, and I love it.
So blue-white Flippy could go here. Black-white Control. Black-white Control.
Yes, great pick.
What I was thinking when I said Dead Guy, but that's a different deck. Okay,
it could be either. Yeah,
okay, that's a good pick for pick 28.
Heck yeah, Jay's list is sweet.
He has 4 decks that could win a tournament.
Yeah. All right, we're back to Carl. Total wild card again.
Raging Glaciers.
Show me Iggy Pop.
Raging Glaciers. Suicide Black.
Iggy Pop. Come on, you can do it. Contamination. Frantic Storm. Okay.
Okay, that's actually the best deck he's taken.
He's heavy on the blue.
I'm just saying, I like Frantic Storm the best out of the 4 decks he's taken at 29.
I'm into it.
You like Stasis more than Frantic Storm, or Frantic Storm more than Stasis?
No, I'm Team Stasis. Looking at the two of those,
Frantic Storm is 1-0 against me when I'm playing the Rock.
You have to play it a second time.
Blue-Green Oath. That is the deck that got Sam Black into Premodern. I made my Blue-Green Oath deck, posted it on Twitter, and he's like, "What is this format? You can play Gaia's Blessing," and that's
another one of my early playtest partners. Actually, the same one as Mud. Dane Malone, big Oath guy, big Blue-Green Oath with spikes and Morphling. All right,
Andrew's got some stuff. He's got some spit on the ball.
Yeah,
I like it.
All right, Arnold again. Does he go Merfolk here? I sniped his Merfolk pick last year, so he doesn't want to let it sit too long.
Merfolk is a high value pick for Mike Arnold.
Contamination is too.
A deck that could conceivably win a tournament. So Arnold has 4 decks that could conceivably win a tournament, but none of them are favored to win a tournament.
Star Spangled Slaughter is going to lose a match because its mana base let it down one time. So
I'm just saying he has 4 decks that could win a tournament.
I don't think that Star Spangled Slaughter has the consistency to win a tournament. He's going to drop one of his rounds and it's single elimination. He'll be out. Gabe, where do you go from here? This is another one where it's kind of all over the board. I love it.
Blue-White Flippy is still on the
Tribe.
table.
That's right. He is the Tribe guy. I'm surprised it lasted that long.
Well, you don't have to take it early. No one favors Tribe.
Well, I mean, don't forget, Tom told us Tribe could have won LobsterCon. Yeah, I've played him twice on this deck, and I think we're like 50-50 at this point.
Yeah, but we could have played twice with me on the Rock, and we'd be 50-50. That's well within the range.
I love it. I think it's great. He's got like, it's not the Tribe Super Ultra go for the combo. He's got other game plans, and I like it.
Suicide Black.
So, yeah, there's a lot of mono black players here. I was expecting somebody to jump on this. He knows it's not going to survive another Mike Arnold pick. So,
but if you're going to play like the Zombies deck that you annihilated me with at PSS4, is that Sui Black?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there's some decks that Machine Head. That's like if you're going to play
Machine Head's still hanging out.
Play the Mano deck. That's Machine Head.
Yeah.
There's no Voids or Urza's Rages in that deck, but it's still called Machine Head.
Yeah.
Okay. Balancing Tings is a real deck. kind of.
Ish. Yeah, a little bit.
Fluctuator. I think you got to take Fluctuator this round. It's one of the few real decks that remain.
I mean, I don't know if I call it a real deck, but it could surprise. It could just be the bracket destroyer, honestly. Ooh.
Blue-red control. What is that?
So you got cycling for slice and dice. You've got all the card draw and cantrip.
Can I play like a mono blue control deck and like put a lightning bolt in it and call that blue-red control?
You can, I think that we're getting a little bit closer to the decks as intended this year, thanks to me.
Yeah.
I think I ruined things for people to do stuff like that.
You ruined things for people, but made the format better.
Okay.
Jund. So that's just if you play like the Rock.
Total. Yeah, exactly.
The Rock with contested cliffs, maybe. This is wild.
Rock. Yeah.
This sounds great. I like it. Andrew, I like his spot now.
Everybody's got like a totally different way of doing this. I'm in. Carl, total wild card again. Go Reanimator. Go for another weird combo.
Blue-white Flippy still being on the table is crazy to me. That's like a real deck-ish.
That's a real deck.
Zombie
Infestation.
So how is Zombie Infestation different from Contamination, different from some of the other decks?
Because you're more into, you've got the squee plans. You've got the.
Can I play Stifle Knot and Zombie Infestation and then like play like? I'm not kidding.
Like, let me just cram Stifle Knot everywhere.
Yeah, no, like I have a buried alive combo with
somebody
Sutured
just
Ghoul.
did Zombie Infestation and they called it Zombie Dicks because they crammed Stifle Knot into it.
I think I would place Zombie Infestation with Stifle Knot, Buried Alive, Sutured Ghoul. Right. That's a Zombie Infestation deck.
All right, Jay. What do we got? Rector. Okay.
Pattern Rector. I mean, we're scraping the bottom of the barrel.
Pattern Rector after Dance Academy was taken in the 3rd round. Pattern Rector this round seems pretty sweet.
That's a deck that could win some matches. You get some favorable matchup, right? Like Rifter still being on the table is crazy to me. I would have taken Rifter.
Rifter will be on the
first
table for
probably.
A while. I mean, there's so many decks. Reanimator's still there.
I don't know if you realize this, but you can cycle a Renewed Faith, gain 2 life, and draw a card for only 2 mana.
Woo! I'm so excited to do that.
Pit Rack.
Great deck.
That deck has a favorable matchup against a lot of the decks that went in the first round.
I mean, all these combo decks are in rough shape for the most part, except Replenish. Replenish has a really great matchup. It's just.
I mean, all right. So let's just run through this right now. How many decks does everybody have? Gabe has he has a great deck, but he has 1 deck.
4 to 5.
It's 1 deck.
Okay.
Arnold has 1, 2. I think Arnold has 3 decks.
3.5.
3.5 decks. Fine. Webb has. I'll give him 3.5 decks. No, I'll give him 3 decks. 2 and 2 halves. 2 and 2 halves for Webb. 2 and 2 halves. Rounds up to 3.
Oh my gosh.
Ponza. He lost to Ponza at LobsterCon.
Yeah, to mono red. Yeah.
Let's see. Carl, I have at 0 decks. Okay, I guess
Carl's
Stasis
all over the board.
Stasis Frantic Storm. That's
Carl's going to surprise people.
Glue them together. He has a deck. Fine.
All right, Hoyp. Where does Hoyp go? Okay, we can't believe that. No, most of the big ones are falling off.
Blue-white Flippy. Come on, man.
Blue-white Flippy seems like a good pick. So I just say you take. You've already got Angry Hermit. Take Iggy Pop.
I would have taken. I think Blue-white Green Threshold is actually a deck that could win the tournament if it gets the right pairings.
All right, he's got another pick.
Iggy Pop.
Okay, Iggy Pop. Sweet.
Rich has got to take Flippy or Threshold is a real deck. Intuition for Worship with a Nimble Mongoose beats half the decks on this table.
So he's got some, he's got some combo. He's got some, some decks.
Rich has 4 full decks right now. I think Rich leads in terms of number of actual
I
decks.
mean, I think Hoyp is in a pretty good spot. Those are good decks on his end.
Yeah, Hoyp has 3.5 decks.
Okay,
Rich
what
has
does
4
Rich Shade
decks.
do here?
Take Flippy Machine Head.
Okay. So
Alright,
he's in
well.
kind of the, no, you can't have your things. I can have my things, but my things aren't very good. Space, Ponza, and Machine Head back to back.
I would have taken Flippy over at least Ponza. I think
mean,
Rich just has shell shock from losing to Ponza at Lobster.
Hoyp, does Machine Head allow Draco Blast? That's sweet. That's a great
so he
late
could be
round
playing
pick.
Draco Blast. Oh,
Yeah.
Rich Shea wins the Super Gauntlet.
Yeah,
Draco Blast.
That's a great. This is a late round pick. That's great.
He's gonna win like 3 matches with his Machine Head deck out of nowhere. Reanimator.
Reanimator, finally, Chris. Thank you.
But no respect for Flippy.
I mean, it's in
the finals of every monthly. How does nobody?
It's good. I mean, there's good cards you have access to. The mana's friendly.
It's better than Ponza. It's better than lands.
It's better than Star Spangled Slaughter in my eyes.
Yeah, that deck won in the 3rd round.
I mean, it's that deck with better mana. So,
but no Fire Ice.
No Fire Ice.
No Lightning Angel.
No Lightning Bolt either.
Green Red Aggro. What is that?
I'm in.
Can I play Fuck It We Call and that's Green Red Aggro?
I don't know if you're allowed to play that. That's the main deck for that. I mean, post sideboard, Fuck It We Call, sure. I mean,
yeah. So what if I just play Call of the Herd in my Dick's Red deck? Is that Green Red Aggro?
What's wrong?
Then that is the best pick of the draft.
Aggro.
That is the best pick of the draft. A top 3 deck just went like 44th.
It could be really sweet. There's Rifter. Oh, yeah. Now Carl's your favorite, right?
He's this new steal of the draft. Well, Rifter, the problem with it is it can't win any matches against some of the decks.
Yeah,
but it crushes
late
other
round
decks.
value though.
Yeah, but
if he gets the right matchups, just like roll.
Can't lose. Yeah, but I think Jay's spot. I think the Green Red Aggro. If you just can play Fuck It We Call with that's the steal of the draft. That's a top 3 quality deck.
I've got some lists for Green Red Aggro that would shock you. Like it,
they wouldn't shock me.
Oh, they probably don't. They don't play that card anymore.
Yeah, when you have a second color, you can't be playing one mana 2 damage anymore.
Andrew, Dream Halls, sick. I love it.
Was that card just recently unbanned? Am I wrong? Oh, it became enabled by the unbanning of Show and Tell.
Yeah,
but nothing has happened from this, right?
No, it just when it gets played, it kind of pops a lot of times. It just doesn't get played that much.
Well, that should tell us something because
I love the Dream Halls Tricks decks.
Oh,
there's Merfolk. Finally,
he got it 47th, and he would have spent his 3rd pick on that deck.
So we've got the mono black is off the table. Zoo is still there. Threshold is still there.
What is
Flippy is still there.
Zoo is like
red, black, green, black,
like
white,
a Rancor,
green.
like
yeah, exactly. Like just small creatures, Rancor, some removal, cheap removal.
But the Stompy is also on the table, right? Didn't Hoyp win a monthly with Stompy last year?
Like he even said his path to that was pretty soft.
Yeah, but it's
a real deck.
It's still it. I mean, we're talking about the 50th pick right now.
I mean, there's Flippy.
Flippy. I mean, that's a good pick.
This is like a sneaky good list here. You know, Suicide Black can
win matches.
Yeah.
I mean,
these are 2 late round.
I think Gabe was not in a good spot because he
Fluctuator.
So he picked up multiple good decks in like the 7th round.
I'm in, man. Those are great.
Well, those are both real decks.
Yeah.
He's got about 4
this
real
is another great
5
format.
decks.
Yeah, this is a great place to showcase some of these polarized decks where you either win big or lose big. If you get the right matchups, you just run the table.
Love Legion land loss.
All right.
Well, is that just mono green Terra
Yeah.
Oath? Wait, if that's just mono green Terra
Yeah.
Oath, why didn't that go in the first round? Because that's like the TV Tyrant deck.
I mean, I think that's Legion land loss is great, like Green Ponza. Yeah,
that's literally like if that's a separate archetype from Green Red Oath, that's like a top 5 deck.
Okay. All right.
I mean that is if they allow like the TV Tyrant deck there, that is obviously the pick of the draft. That's like a top 5
That's
quality deck that went 50th.
Life.
Life is that deck
That
is
has
unbeatable by 50% of the decks in the format.
again
Straight
another
up
one
unbeatable.
that could just totally ruin a bracket.
I think we should take some time to talk about the where we think everybody's going to land at the end. Carl, what's the most ridiculous deck that's blue, green, white threshold still being on the table is crazy. If Rich gets it, that's a real deck, I think. Decks like favorable matchup.
I have no way to predict what Carl takes though. I just can't.
Raging Glaciers? I was right.
Oh,
Raging Glaciers is almost a real deck. I mean, anything with Oath, Aaron.
Yeah, I'm in. Sign me up for more. I have no idea what Carl's doing. I don't know what his last pick is going to be for the brew. I mean, I can't even imagine. He already picked all the brews. I'm in. There's threshold. Okay,
yeah, so,
Jay picks threshold.
So just notably about Jay, Landy Ho played a Rector pattern deck at the Spice tournament, and I played the blue, green, white threshold deck, and we both made top 4, or top 8. I don't remember something.
Yeah.
So I think blue, green, white threshold is a deck that's good enough to actually play in pre-modern.
Oh yeah.
It is.
That's why I thought it was funny that you played it at the Spice tournament.
Yeah, like Lanny has adopted Nimble Mongoose in regular Growatog recently. Yeah. It's and if you look at the balancing Tings, that's I think for an Enchantress main, that's like the last pick of an Enchantress main. I think it really is.
I think he could have gotten more value from Enchantress. I think he could have.
There's no way
nobody Rich Shea or Hoyp would not
have taken it.
I mean, you don't want your number 1 pick to get sniped, but
yeah, but neither of them want that deck in the first round, right? So he could have just gotten a better deck. Like he could have gotten Replenish, Sly, Terrageddon, or Mono Blue Control rather than Welder Survival.
If it were me, I think I would have taken Replenish out of Rich and just
but you're gonna lose.
Ruined his whole day.
Yeah, but
I love Rich, but I would love to ruin his whole day.
Stompy is I mean, there's not that many decks left. Right?
Yeah.
But if you're in that spot, like if you're picking 6th or whatever,
yeah, takes 2. Sweet.
No, you would have taken the red deck there, right? Where Tolar took Enchantress. There's no way the red deck survives the first round. Like the fact that it gets to you, you have to take it.
No, I didn't take red the first round that I did it.
No, I'm just saying. But if you were picking from Tolar's spot with those decks taken,
wowzers, this is cool. I love this list. Okay, give me a blurb on each of these players' lists.
All right, so Gabe Menendez, Combo Stifle Knot, real deck, White Weenie. We'll call White Weenie 3/4 of a real deck. So 1.75, Psychotog, I'll give that 0.5. So 2.25. Tireless Tribe, I'll give a half, right? 2.75. Sui Black, I'll give a half, 3.25. Flippy full deck, 4.25. Fluctuator full deck, 5.25 is my rating for Gabe.
I love that he got max value from Tireless Tribe. I don't think it was going to go any further, and I think that's what he wanted to play.
All right, so I have Gabe at 5.25. Arnold, Goblins full decks, full English Breakfast full deck. I'm going to give Star Sandal Slaughter full deck, and Contamination full. We'll give it 0.75, so 3.75. And then if Legion Land Loss is actually what I think it is, then he's 4.75, and then I think Arnold 5.75.
Yeah, that Legion land loss could be wild.
Let's see. Andrew Webb, Terra Oath full deck, Growatog full deck. Allurin, I'll give 0.75, so 2.75.
Oh no, it's good. I think you can.
You give it full deck?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You're gonna blue green Oath full deck?
Yeah, I mean anything with Oath, pretty much.
All right, so that's 4 on the first 4, and then Jundra is a 5.5.
Sure.
Oh no, Life is good. I think I would give him. I think I'll give him 6. Andrew
Life
Webb
is a great.
Yeah,
I mean, he's got one of the best. Legion Land Loss and Life are 2 very good steals, late round steals.
Yeah, so Andrew, I have it 6. All right, Carl, I'll give you full deck on Stasis. That's fine.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, I'll give you full deck on Stasis and Rifter, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2.5. So I'll give him 4.5. Carl.
Okay. I'm into that list though. I think it's wild. I think he's adding the wild card element in here.
You know what? I'll give him a full 5 because I think Frantic Storm is pretty much
deck.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Lansdale. Elves, Tempo Stifle Knot, 2.75. Black White Control. Give him another 0.75 there. 2.75, so 3.5. Pattern Rector. I'll give another 0.75. So it's 2.75. So that's 3.5. Green red. If green red aggro can be,
no, I think you play like the Thornscape Familiar, and you make your red spells cheaper, and you get in with a 2/1, and you have potentially, some calls, some Rancors, some River Boas.
I'll give Jay 5.5.
Yeah.
Because I think blue green white threshold is actually a steal. Okay, Tolar. Enchantress a deck, Devourer a deck, and then let's see here.
I'm into Mud again. It's another one that can just shut down a lot of strategies. Vulgar Survival's sweet.
3, maybe 5.
Pit Rack.
5 on Tolar.
Pit Rack. All of these decks are good.
No, they're not. They're not good. Good as you would take it and play it. Like you would never take it and play Mud.
I would. I like that deck. I really do. I think it's.
I like Rifter.
It's got an opportunity. So here's the thing: if it doesn't go up against a thing that just like goes under it early, if it doesn't have to play against the red deck, it's really it can lock a lot of people out of games. How
about Mud against Stompy?
I could win that one. It could.
Anything can beat anything.
Yeah.
All right. Rich Shea, replenish full deck, mono blue control deck, full deck, blue white control full deck, blue green madness. I'm going to give a half. That's not even a 0.75. It's a 3.5. Ponzet's 4. Machine Head if he gets.
Machine Head is sweet. That's
so
a great.
4.75. Stompy. I'll give him another half. So 5.25.
All right.
And then, all right, Hoy.
Additional point for Rich though for getting the 2 decks he most wanted to play.
Like, oh yeah, so like you could win the entire tournament with one deck, right? Like, so the fact that he has, like, the fact that he has 5.25 and Andrew has 6, like, doesn't mean that Andrew's going to do better than him, right? Rich has replenish. He only needs one deck, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Hoy, Sly full deck, Terrageddon full deck, The Rock. I don't know, man. We'll give that's literally the definition of a 0.5 deck, right? So that's 2.5. Anger Hermit 3.5. I don't know what lands is.
Lands is like Turbo Lands V.
Oh, okay. 4 Iggy Pop.
Iggy Pop has like 100% conversion rate to win every tournament it's ever shown up in Premodern. So
really,
yeah, it's won everything it's ever shown up in. It's only shown up for one, but.
Okay, so he has more than 5, so we'll call him like 5.5.
Yeah.
All right, so I have Andrew at 6, Arnold at 5.75, Jay and Hoyp at 5.5, and then Rich and Gabe at 5.25, and Carl and Tolar at 5. But again, you only need one deck to win.
Yeah.
So, pre-game, I like Andrew the best, I guess. Green or Terror Oath, excellent deck. Growatog could win the tournament.
Yeah.
Allurin, kind of a real deck. Jund is that's like a value rock to me.
Give me Rich Shea on replenish.
Like, yeah, obviously the favorite to win the tournament. Like Rich is like, I'm gonna take replenish and 6 ham sandwiches, right? Like he sits down at the table, hands his opponent a ham sandwich. The opponent eats the ham sandwich, says, "That was delicious, Rich." He's like, "Yeah, you got me." But his 7th opponent is like, "Well, let me tell you about Parallax Tide combo. Unlike Mike Flores, I know how the stack works." Yada yada yada.
Here's my my script for this tournament is Hoyt has to play Sly into one of the potentially 3 Stifle Knot lists.
There's more than 3, right? Angry Hermit is on this list. Oh, he has Angry Hermit.
4. Okay.
No, he has Angry Hermit.
Okay, so he won't have to play that in the first round because that's how it works.
But that's a good matchup, right? We can pop them. I beat that deck at LobsterCon.
Yeah, you can pop them.
Pop.
You can pop. You can dart the Hermit in game 1, and you can pop them out in game 2.
I pyroblasted the combo. I read slow playing the beatdown.
Yeah.
Then I popped him for 6.
So Sly is out in the first or second round because it went up against the Stifle Knot. And
liar, you're a liar.
And then replenish goes all the way because it doesn't have to worry about pop anymore. Oh, some of these other decks could potentially play pop. That'd be a sick move.
This was fun, caffeinated.
Yeah.
All right, so let's who are the spoilers? Gabe, let's spoilers. You got White Weenie could go. That went too high in my opinion, but White Weenie could go. Psychotog could go. I don't see Tribe winning the tournament, but I could see Tribe ruining some days.
Life is going to ruin some days. Life is going to.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, but I have Andrew with 6 decks for sure. Life can ruin some days.
Yeah.
So I think Suey Black and Blue White Flippy. If Gabe, I only have Gabe at 5.25. He has a lot of decks that can ruin days.
Mm-hmm.
Suey deck, Suey Black, Flippy, Fluctuator, Tribe, Tog, White Weenie can all win matches.
Yeah.
Okay. Arnold, Goblins at 2 is too high, I think. You had your pick of the tier 1 decks at that point. You don't take Goblins there. I like Goblins.
Goblins is not going to suffer from like the bad matchup that just beats it in an early round.
Yeah, but it is the worst converting of the tier 1 decks by far. Elves is a better converting tier
1
deck, and it's Mike Arnold.
I thought my Goblins was going to be the thing that got me over the finish line last time.
It's don't get me. Goblins is Goblins. It's just the worst converting of the tier 1 decks.
Fair enough.
Goblins. Obviously, Goblins can win the tournament. Full English Breakfast can win the tournament. You don't see Star Spangled Slaughter winning the tournament, though.
No.
Contamination. The problem with Contamination is if you ever play against another deck that taps for black, you lose.
And there's a few of those.
Yeah, like you could literally straight up lose to the Rock, right? Like they could just Haunting Echoes your combo, and you're like, oops. I no longer have Nether Spirit. I'd have to operate this zombie infestation. I can run out of cards. Blue Red Control. That's not going to win. Merfolk's not going to win. Legion Land Loss. That's crazy. That's like worth 2 picks.
That could for sure win.
He got it in the last round.
I'm so curious what his list is going to look like for that.
Yeah, I would just play TV Tyrants deck. Be like, okay, no Pyroclasm, I guess. Rock and roll.
Yeah.
Andrew Webb, Greener Terror Oath. He used his first pick on the same deck that Mike Arnold used his last pick. That's ridiculous. Groatog can win the tournament. Allurin's not winning the tournament. I popped the heck out of that deck at LobsterCon.
Yeah.
They took so much damage from Price of Progress.
I was looking for what decks could play pop in here. It's really just the one.
No. Green Red Aggro could play pop.
Potentially.
I would play
depends on how green they're going on the list.
I would play Call of the Herd in the main deck, and I would say I have more green cards in my deck and sideboard than Caffeinated played Psychotogs in his Psychotog deck last year.
Oh man, I'm never gonna live that down.
Okay. Okay. So, Blue Green Oath actually could spoiler win the tournament. I mean, is like what are the Landy Oath variants? Is Blue Green Oath? I don't even know. Jund could steal some games. You know, it's kind of the Rock with a little beast action maybe. Dream Halls, I don't even know what that is. I assume it's gonna just win every match because I don't know what it is until it runs into a Pyroblast.
Yeah, I think this is a super sweet series that we've got lined up. I can't wait to put in my bracket picks. I can't wait to see what the last decks are going to be for everybody, what their off meta stuff is.
And then are these matches televised on Cloud Goat
They'll
Ranger?
be on twitch.tv/Cloud Goat Ranger.
Okay, so who's your pick to win the tournament?
Richey.
Richey 5 ham sandwiches is also my pick. I can't believe they let him have Replenish.
I think I probably just would have hate drafted super hard on him.
Tolar had the best spot there. He would have gotten his Enchantress deck.
I was big on the hate drafting. I was sniping people's favorites before they got to pick. That was my whole draft.
My sleeper is Jay Lansdale. I like his green red aggro.
Cool lineup.
And Tempo Stifle Knot are both steals. And also blue green white threshold is a steal. Also, I'm offended that there's a deck called blue green white threshold and also a deck called Jund. How do we have both of those naming conventions?
All right, I'll jump in real quick. Chat can now hear me. First of all, on naming conventions, I took Michael Arnold's template, so I'm going to pass the torch on that one. And then, so there are 8 decks that all of us are going to select. So those are designated to be brews from each of the players to submit, and so those will be revealed shortly. I'll have a post on Facebook. And people have been talking about brackets. So what we've traditionally done is Michael Arnold has posted a link to select like your champion, and basically you go through March Madness style and pick. Once we have the matchups of all the decks, you can say, okay, I think this deck is going to beat this deck in advance, and eventually you pick a winner. And I think they have a prize for whoever gets the most points for the best prediction.
Wait, so can Jay play basically Andy Levine's Spice Tournament winning deck at Pattern Rector? Played like the Future Sight Bauble deck?
Probably. I mean, there's a decent amount of leeway in terms of what people do. I think it has to be the approval of Michael Arnold. So I think it depends on, how he feels. So
that would be enough. I really like Jay as a sleeper because if he can get the Spice deck, my Spice deck, fuck it, we call Tempo Stifle Knot is a steal. Elves is a real deck. I like Jay. I like Jay at 5.5. Okay. Well, this was fun.
I'm in. I can't wait to watch.
Fun trash talking.
All right.
All right.
Well, thank you guys for doing some coverage on this. And so stay tuned, friends, that we will have more information about the gauntlet. I don't know if all of the matches will be streamed or posted to YouTube at some point, but I know a number of them are planned on it. So we are planning on providing a lot more content for this production. This is something that Mike Arnold's done a number of years, so we're excited to do it. And so
I should have mentioned it's. I said Cloud Goat Ranger, but previously most of it has been on
Andrew. Yep.
Right. It'll be around. Keep an eye out for people going live.
Okay. Thanks for having me, Hoyp. Good talking to you, Caffeinated.
Absolutely, always.